So you want to open a brokerage account so you can buy stocks. You've been thinking about it, you've been reading about it, and now you finally made the decision. I need to open a brokerage account. But how do I open a brokerage account? You're on the right video because we're going to do a walkthrough on how to open your first brokerage account. So we're going to open a Vanguard brokerage account. So we're going to open a brokerage account so you can buy stocks, bonds, ETFs, and we're going to use the Vanguard website. So when you get on the Vanguard website, the first thing you're going to see is this screenshot where it's going to ask you, are you already a Vanguard member? Then just log in. Or it'll ask you, are you new to the Vanguard website? And then you'll need to open a Vanguard account. You'll need to establish a username and password and so on. After that, we can just continue opening the account. So here we are in my computer on the Vanguard website, about to set up our first brokerage account. This is the first step that we have to do so we can buy stocks, bonds, ETFs, individual stocks. First, we need a brokerage account. And you know, growing up, I heard people talk about savings account, checking account. They talk about CDs, but I never heard anyone talking about a brokerage account. And this is what, and a brokerage account is what you need so you can buy stocks, right? So here on the Vanguard website, they're going to ask you the question, how can we get you started? And they give you the options. I would like to open a new account with money from my bank. That's the option we'll choose. But let's go through the rest of them. I would like to roll over an employee plan, such as a 401k, right? So you may have money in an old 401k from an old job, and you like to roll it over into Vanguard, right? Maybe that money is with another custodian, right? Prudential or whoever. So that's another option. Option 3, I like to transfer investments from another firm to Vanguard. So you may have investments, maybe it's not in a 401k, it's a regular brokerage account, but it's in another custodial, Schwab, Fidelity, whatever, and you want to transfer it. That's another option. Or option 4, inherit a Vanguard account. Maybe you were the beneficiary of a Vanguard account. Maybe mom or dad or some family member passed away, and you inherited that asset, right? And now you want to transfer it to Vanguard to take, custody of it and put it under your name. That's another option. Or I would like to take full control of my UGMA/UTMA account. The UGMA and UTMA, these are accounts for minors. You've heard me speak on this channel before about opening a brokerage account for your children. These are the accounts we're talking about. UGMA and UTMA stands for Uniform Gifts for Minors Act and Uniform Transfer for Minors Act. It's essentially how you can invest for children that are minors, right? They can be 1 day old, essentially. As long as you have a social security number, you could open, as long as they have a social security number, you can open an account for them, right? So you can open an account for your newborn and buy stocks, ETFs, bonds. So it is a powerful thing, right? And where to take control, usually the parent or whoever opened the account is the custodian until the child reached the age of majority. Most states it's 18, but some states it's 21. So those are the options. So like I said, we're going to choose option 1. I'd like to open a new account with money from my bank. So we choose option 1. I'd like to open a new account with money from my bank. Then we'll hit continue. And then this screen will pop up. How do you want to manage this account? Option 1 on the left side is Vanguard Advice Services, meaning they will help you manage your investments and they'll give you advice. Of course, it'll cost you. You'd have to, I think it's probably going to be a percentage of the assets on the management, maybe 1% or whatever. But option 2, which is what we'll choose, is I like to invest on my own. I like to invest on my own. So we'll choose invest on our own. So we have to select the account type. So number one, we have to select the account type. Number two, we have to provide personal information and create a login if you haven't done so. Number three, add a bank if needed and answer a few more questions. Okay. And it kind of tells you what you'll need. So it tells you some of the things you'll need. To open an account, you'll need a permanent U.S. residence. You'll need employer address, if applicable. You need a social security number. So now we'll do select your account. Next page. Select an account type to hold your investment. So now we have to select an account type to hold the investment, right? And we're just opening today a regular non-retirement brokerage account. Okay? Choose a goal, person, and relevant account type. You can open one account at a time. Number one, what is your investment goal? And these are the options they give you. If we were going to open a retirement account, such as a 401k or a Roth IRA, right? A retirement would be what we check. Number two option, general investing or emergency savings. So general investing, we just want to grow our wealth just to grow our wealth. So general investing, right? Save for life milestones or prepare for a rainy day, all right? And other thing that they have down here, number three, is education or investing for a child or minor. Education would be like a 529. Vanguard has a 529. Or investing for a child or minor, such as a custodial brokerage account. We're talking about that, the UGMA or the UTMA. Okay, so we're going to choose general investing, right? We'll keep general investing. Okay. And then question number two: who is the account for? It can be for yourself, right? I'm opening an account just for me, or it could be for me and another adult, maybe you and your spouse. So I have a joint account. It could be a child or minor. In the case of a custodial brokerage account, or it could be a trust. Sometimes you hear people talking about, the money or the assets are in a trust upon my death or whatever, until and the beneficiaries won't begin to get payout from the trust until they reach certain milestones, maybe getting married or starting a business or getting a first house or something like getting a master's degree or whatever. But that's what a trust. So a trust can own an account. See, a lot of these things we just didn't know about it growing up. A trust can own a brokerage account and grow assets. And now look at this one. An organization, right? An organization can own a brokerage account. Yeah. So that could be your business, right? You're incorporated. You have an LLC, or your church, your investment club. So there's a lot of things out there that can be done. We just have not been exposed to it, right? An organization can own this brokerage account. We're looking to invest for a corporation, a non-profit, right? So it could be your sorority, your fraternity, your church. They can own a brokerage account. The Boys and Girls Club of whatever. They can own a brokerage account and get access to stocks to grow their wealth. All right. So in this case, we're going to do myself, right? We're opening a brokerage account for ourselves. Okay, fine. Number three, select a relevant account. These account types are more relevant to your choices. Make your selection to learn more before opening the account. Vanguard is basically narrowing down the options based on the previous information you've put in. So what basically Vanguard is saying is that based on what you put in, general investing, and for an individual, these are the most likely options. Individual brokerage account, right? It's a multi-purpose account for short or long-term goals, which is true. It's not a retirement account. It's not a savings account. We can buy stocks, bonds, ETFs, and all of that. And right, it can be for short term, right? We can invest for a year, or we can invest for 50 years. That's an option. Option number two, individual cash plus account. The cash management account for a short term saving account. Individual cash plus account. A cash management account for short term savings goal. No, we want an individual brokerage account. So we'll hit select individual brokerage account. Okay, so now it says you're opening an individual brokerage account. It offers flexibility for any short term or long term goals. It gives you some of the account highlights. Any earnings, such as dividends, capital gains distributions, etc., may be taxable. Because remember, this is not a retirement account. So any growth, any earnings such as dividends or capital gains distribution, meaning if you sold stock for gain or if you received dividends within a year, you may be liable for pay. You may be liable to pay taxes, right? You can withdraw at any time without penalty, right? So it's not like a retirement account where you have to be age 59 and a half or whatever. You can sell the stocks whenever you would like. Number three, there's no limit to the amount you can invest each year. Unlike a retirement account where there are certain limitations by the government, for example, in a Roth IRA, for 2024, if you're 50 years old and under, you can only contribute $7,000. If you're 50 and above, you can contribute an additional 1,000. The catch-up contribution, you can contribute instead of 7,000, you can contribute $8,000 per year. But with a regular non-retirement brokerage account, you can invest as much as you want. Another account highlight: you can invest in any products, such as index mutual funds. So you can invest in S&P 500 or the total stock market index fund. You can invest in ETFs. You can invest in CD, money market funds, stocks, bond. You can do anything with a brokerage account. So we hit continue. So the previous page basically wanted you to verify some information. I cut that part out because it had my personal information there. But basically, they wanted to verify your name, date of birth, social security number, address, email. Right? Obviously, I didn't show that. On this page, they want you to provide your contact information. Right? Again, you would add your address and your phone number, right? And then you'd confirm it, and then you would hit continue. So we have kind of we have given our basic information to open the brokerage account. Now it's time to fund the account, right? So funding the account, we have certain options. Here they tell you that funding with a transfer from your checking or savings account can help your money arrive faster, so you can start investing sooner. So your funding options. So funding options would be a checking account, right? So you'd link your checking account from whatever bank you have to the Vanguard thing, right? I have a checking account already linked in to Vanguard. I'm not going to show it, but if I hit this, it'll pop up, but I'm not going to do it. The other button down here says, I'd like to fund my account with a rollover, asset transfer, or fund exchange from an investing account. That's another way to fund it, okay? Then you would hit continue. Now that the account is linked, checking account is hopefully linked, they're asking you how much money do you want to open the account with, right? What they're telling you is that you can invest, you can start investing with as little as $1. But keep in mind that some investment products have minimums. Some of the Vanguard index funds have a minimum, maybe some have a minimum, $3,000 or the minimum for some of them. Anyhow, let's open the account with $100. We'll put $100 when open it. And then we'll hit up, continue. Now this page will pop up. Choose your settlement fund. Settlement fund is basically the fund that unused cash sits. Unused cash sits there. So say for example, you have $100 there and you haven't bought any stock. It's going to sit there. You may get a little interest, but not a lot. But yeah, it's like your unused cash. See? It says your new brokerage account comes with a settlement fund, an account holding used to keep your funds available to trade. Money to pay for investments will be taken from your settlement fund, right? So in your settlement fund, if you have $100 and you want to buy a stock and it's $50, the $50 will come from that settlement fund of $100. You buy this one share of stock, and then you only have $50 left in your settlement fund. You can replenish your settlement fund by transferring money from your savings or checking, or from rollover, and so on. So we'll hit continue. And then they're going to ask these questions about, tell us about your employment. These are questions for regulatory reasons that the government forces them to ask, just to make sure that your source of revenue for your brokerage account is legal. You're not a drug dealer or something like that. Basically, we're required to collect this information for regulatory reasons. Your employment status, right? And then you can put employed. And see, they have employed by Vanguard, retired, whatever. So you can put employed, or you can put retired, but whatever your status is. So you could put employed, and you could also put retired. Then they're gonna want them employment details, right? So who employed you, what your occupation, your zip code of your job, and so on. Again, it's stuff that they force you to put. Let's put retired. See if that's better. Okay, good. I put retired. That maybe that'll save us. Check all that apply. My spouse is a Vanguard. My spouse. Check all that apply. My spouse is a Vanguard employee. I am an associated person, or another person who will have financial interest or trading authority over the account in an associated person. What is an associated person? Or I'm a controlled person. Again, the government forces them to ask these questions. So I'll say none of these apply to me, right? We'll say none of these apply to me. What is an associated person? I don't know. Let's check. An associated person is a FINRA employee, right? I think financial industry something, or a person associated with a member of a stock exchange, FINRA member firm, or municipal securities dealer, or the spouse or minor child of such an associated person. Okay, so none of that applies. With it not apply to me, we're retired, and we'll put continue. Please provide your income and net worth. Again, the government forces them to ask these questions. Vanguard is required to collect this information to comply with federal regulations. Your answers won't affect what products you can invest in. What is your income? Okay, that includes, what is your income? That includes all sources, and they give you broad ranges, 100,000 up to like $500,000. What is your income? So we'll put our income is, I don't know. We'll put our income is 75,000 to 999. What is their net worth? Again, broad ranges, and they forces you to put that. What is their net worth? And they tell you assets you can convert to cash in a relatively short time. Don't include the value of your home or sources of income such as your salary, bonuses, pension, rental income, or social security income. If you're married, only include assets in your name. Your net worth, let's put our net worth is 20,000 to 50,000. Again, they forced, the government, these are regulatory questions that the government forced you to answer. Continue. What are the sources of money going into the account? Again, the government forces them to ask this question. Make sure it's not coming from drug dealing or illegal activities. What are the sources of money going into this account? Vanguard is required to collect this information to comply with federal regulations. Your answers won't affect what products you can invest in. So the sources of money going into this account, we'll say, are salary. You work and you take the money and you're going to put in this investment. So again, the government forces Vanguard to ask this question. What are the sources of money going into the account? Is there options? Salary or social security benefits, retirement, general savings, sale of property or business, corporate income, investment gains, gift, inheritance, working capital, choice not selected. Or choice not listed. and then you have to specify where it's coming from. Say, for example, it's coming from something that's not here. Then you have to specify. Say, let's hit this for the fun of it. Sure, it's not listed. Then you'd have to put it in. Let's see something that's not here. Gambling. Let's say you won money from the lottery, right? It's not listed. You'd have to put it on there because maybe the government want to get their taxes. Make sure you pay taxes on that. Anyhow, we put retirement or general savings. Right? Retirement, general savings. Okay, fine. Continue. Describe your purpose for this account. Vanguard is required to collect this information to comply with federal regulations. Your answers will affect which products you can invest in, right? Describe your purpose for this account. Our purpose for this account is growth. We want to grow our wealth. But you see the different options. They give you capital preservation, seeks to keep the original investment amount, the principal, from decreasing in value. Income. So people want income. For example, you buy a lot of dividend stocks, you want income. You want those stocks to give you dividends, right? Seeks current cash flow in exchange for reduction of potential growth. Growth. Seeks investments with capital appreciation potential in exchange for reduction of income and increased volatility. Okay? Because the more, the greater the return of your investment, the greater the volatility as well. And then they have speculation. Seeks aggressive growth. This objective involves investment that can have significant fluctuation in value. It involves a high level of risk, which can lead to a significant loss in principal. So we want growth. That's what we're looking for. Again, these are regulatory questions the government forces Vanguard to ask. Next, or continue. Please review your application. Please review your application to open an account. Okay, and then they're basically going to review everything. Account type is individual brokerage. We're going to open it with $100. We want to reinvest the distribution. Important thing. Important. That's very important, right? Because whatever you're going to invest in, whether you're going to invest in stocks or ETF, likely they'll pay dividends, and you want to reinvest those dividends to buy additional shares, right? So you're going to reinvest the distribution or dividends. They call it distributions for ETF, dividends for individual stocks. Funding method is going to be a bank transfer, settlement fund, Vanguard, federal money market fund. Sources of money, we said it's going to be general savings, and investment goals is growth. Now there's some additional information at the bottom, like my routing number, account number, that I don't want to show. So I'm going to stop here, but essentially this is 99.9999% of the stuff that you're going to see in opening a brokerage account on Vanguard. The other thing, let me add this. When you open an account in Vanguard, there's a process they have to verify the linked account, whether it's a checking or savings account. What they do is Vanguard will deposit what they call a micro deposit. These are, I think it's two different deposits. Added together, they're less than $1, I believe. And then you have to log into Vanguard and put the amount of those micro deposits. Vanguard will put it into your account, and then they'll take it out. You have to log back into Vanguard, put the amounts that was deposited to your account and removed. That way you verify. That's how you verify the account. I'm not going to hit continue because I really don't want to open another Vanguard account. But this is what you... so this is the process that you do to open a Vanguard account. So for all the people who have made it this far, that's pretty much it. We did a walkthrough and opening your own brokerage account through Vanguard. It's not complicated. It's something that you could probably get done in about 15-20 minutes. The information that you're going to need, so the information you'll need your name, you'll need your date of birth, you'll need your social security number, you'll need your address. If you're employed, you'll need the address of your employer, the name of your organization. Those are the majority of the stuff you will need. But I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. And again, thanks for sticking with us throughout the end. I know this video was a little long, but we have to put in the work. up front so we can reap the rewards toward the end. So now your brokerage account is all set up. You can do the fun stuff like buying stocks, ETFs, bonds, and growing your wealth. So again, guys, it's another video from the MD Investor trying to increase our financial IQ by educating ourselves and teaching our children so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. MD Investor out.